Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and howdy, and welcome back to the channel. My name is TheTexasGunslinger, and I know you guys were looking forward to another tanking video today about TDs, but we're going to go ahead and start it out today with a little bit different. We're going to do a map review, and the reason being is because we got a new map yesterday with 8.2. Now, this is the Ghost Factory, and we're going to be driving around in WZ113 and just checking it out, seeing what we can and cannot see. Now, the reason why I did grab this tank is because, one, it was tier 10 and I had it queued up already. But the other reason is because it's got about the average gun depression and everything else. And so, as you see, as we're going around, we go over to D first, and you can see how, your gun depression is going to play a big issue on this map. And one of the biggest things is the more gun depression, the better, especially looking at this map. Now, you have this kind of tar pit area and everything else over by D, and mind you, we started out on kind of over there, and so we're just driving around. We noticed that there's a lot more hills than I thought were going to be on this map, quite frankly, and also we got a few more buildings too. So this is a really big map, or it feels that way. And you can also see this is where the other spawn point's going to be. You're going to be right by this train, and quite honestly, me being me, I wanted to see if the train's fired kind of damaged your tank, and it didn't, but it looked really cool. Now, the thing I'll notice about this map instantly is you can get wrecked real quick. And the reason why I say that is because if you're just flat out going for D or going for A, and you do not have a teammate or at least two teammates covering you, if you just pop up there, it's going to be so easy for the bigger TDs or the heavies just to come wreck your world. Now, just from looking around a little more, I was trying to figure out for a minute, and it did take me on how to get into C and D. It really threw me off. And I've watched a lot of the wargaming videos about this and everything else, and I couldn't quite figure out, so we'll get back to that in a second. But as you can see, going from spawn to A, you have two little tunnel areas, or valleys, which will work out really well so you won't get spotted popping up there. But as soon as you pop up, you can get wrecked. My first time playing this map, I was driving around a batch hat, and I got the pleasure of getting destroyed very quickly by 183. But we won't talk about that too much. Now, we're looking at this, and it took me a minute to figure it out, like I said. And then I saw the doors. I'm like, okay, well, can you shoot them? And so there are 4 entry points on the factory part of this map. And this factory part is very, very big. Like, it almost feels like you could do whenever they do the 2-on-2 or the 5-on-5. Like, this could just be an arena spot on itself. Now, there are 4 entrances in here. C seems like it's going to be a lot easier to grab than D. The reason why I say that is D, and yeah, I was going to see, because it would be pretty cool if you got an achievement where you could shoot one of the crates and it fell. Sorry, bad company. The game wall was sticking. So you check it out, and the reason why I say that C is going to be harder than B is B is like on the side of the map where you're tanking from, and you've got a little bit more of a downslope on it, and you'll be able to bounce some more shots. Now, when I came over and looked at C, it didn't look that way. And the reason being is because you had a much bigger hill and a much bigger down shot on a tank. And the reason why I say that is just from looking at it, and then also I was battling on the map the other day with one of our clansmates. Shout out to Twister. And he realized that he had the guy we were playing, the team we're playing against, we were the last to the left, and it was just kind of one of those scratch matches. But the 183 could just literally barely poke his nose over, and he can just destroy anybody at that base. But when we switch around to the other side, there were 2 183s. We had a much clearer shot at engaging the person. So that is some food for thought, maybe, when you're playing this map. Is besides gun depression, is when you're dealing with B and C, try to get C first, and just because it'll make your life a little easier. Now we went ahead and scouted out these other buildings. Most of these other buildings are just straight through areas, and you can either run through them, shoot through them, and everything else. Now the buildings on the outside of it, on the very edges of the map, unfortunately, they're not like that. I kind of wish they were. That would give you a few more TD spots, and also a few more just heavy poker spots. But overall, I really like this map. I think it's going to be balanced. It's going to take some getting used to. I drove around with it twice in this, just kind of checking it out, so I could see where to get some spots and stuff like that. And it looks, honestly, like one of the more balanced maps that I have seen working put out. Now, all that to be said, I think that when we get into mad games and those types, I think this is going to be an incredibly interesting map, because I spotted this area. I tried to get up with this, and I knew that it just wasn't going to get the horsepower up. But if you can get up there, that is going to be one cheeky area, because you will have great shots all the way down to A and all the way down to D. And I think if you got up there, you might be able to hit a few shots into C or B. So that's going to be food for thought. And I know that some people will probably have already tried that, and maybe someone will be successful in it. But I decided to give it a shot, so I jumped into Vickers, as you'll see, and tried to get up there. But I think this map is going to be a really fun map. I think that this map is also, it's going to probably be a big gun depression map, so your Kranwagen and a few of your tanks like that. I also think this would be a really good heavy map. I think on this map, I think there's gameplay for your lights, your mediums, your TDs, and your heavies. But primarily, I feel like this map is a medium and a TD map. And the reason being is because the mediums have more gun depression, they sit lower, so you're gonna be less of a problem. And the TD is just because you have so many spots. Definitely, if you're heavy, I do not recommend being out in the open on this map. I recommend being close to a building, side scraping, or at least being in one of these hill areas. Now, as you can see, we get the power on, and we actually get up here, but it's just the friction differential that Wargaming puts in. Maybe if you got it going sideways and got up there, you can do it, but I couldn't do it. And I tried it a few more times on different tries. But I did go ahead and look around a little more. I think your biggest call-out signs will be train, factory, tar pit, and bridge. That's really kind of self-explanatory on all these. I think that will really give this map a really good dynamic, so to speak, and it makes it a lot easier when you're on Discord calling things out. And this is that tar pit area is what I called it. Somebody can correct me down in the comments, but I just called it a tar pit because I think this map will be a really fun map. It'll be interesting to see what Wargaming does from here when it comes to maps. But all that to be said, guys, I know you're probably tired of listening to me, but this is the look around at the new map. And guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye.